10 scandalous royal relationships they tried to keep secret. Starting off with number 10, Charles and Camilla. Prince Charles's intimate talk is probably not everyone's cup of tea to this day, even though it may no longer be considered taboo. According to a 1993 article in the LA Times, a radio enthusiast accidentally picked up Charles and Camilla's private phone conversation in 1992, which then made its way into British tabloids. Now, this is all Charles saying this. "Oh God, I'll just hide somewhere in your pants or something. It would be a lot simpler." In the tapes, Charles can be heard saying, "When you grow up, what will you become? A pair of knickers?" Cambridge responds, or Shudder, "A Tampax. It's all luck. I have no words." Most people don't think of romance when they hear about menstruation, and many Brits certainly felt the same way. Persuaded most of the nation that the heir to the throne, the would-be defender of the faith, was a lavatory-minded adulterer. Royal biographer Anthony Holden wrote in the Sydney Morning Herald, "The controversy, which was dubbed Camillagate due to its timing, appeared to be evidence of Charles's immorality. However, given that these tapes were released at the same time as those of Diana and James Gilbey, many people wondered if British internal intelligence was involved in any way. This theory was never proven to be true, but I'm interested in learning what you guys think. Do you think it was all a whole plan, or do you think it was just a coincidence?" On to number 9, Diana and James Gilbey. The rocky romance between Prince Charles and Princess Diana, Prince Harry's parents, was well known. The couple got married in July 29, 1981 in a lavish ceremony that was broadcast all over the world. However, their love story wasn't exactly a fairy tale. Diana openly acknowledged that Charles's infidelity with his now wife Camilla was a factor in her struggles with an eating disorder. However, Diana's relationship was not entirely rumor-free. Multiple media outlets reported that she was also involved in a scandal that the media dubbed Squidgygate in the early 1990s. Several phone calls between Diana and James Gilbey, her secret lover, are said to have been recorded by British intelligence. During these calls, Gilbey allegedly said, "I love you," and affectionately referred to Diana as Squidgy at least 53 times. The tapes were sold to The Sun and then published in the United States in 1992 by the National Enquirer. Because the royal family did not confirm who was actually on the calls, Buckingham Palace did not pursue the papers for the leak. The monarchy's statement that they weren't taking the tapes seriously was the subject of an episode of Frontline in 1997 titled "The Princess and the Press." In the same year as the leak, Diana and Charles divorced, and their divorce was finalized in 1996. Number 8, Diana and James Hewitt. Diana admitted to having an affair with British Army officer James Hewitt during her marriage to Prince Charles in a 1995 interview with BBC reporter Martin Bashir. Diana stated, "He was a great friend of mine during a very difficult, yet another difficult time, and he was always there to support me." The princess replied, "Yes, it did. Yes," when Bashir asked if the relationship had progressed beyond a close friendship. Diana, on the other hand, stated that she felt betrayed by Hewitt, who was heavily cited in an expose of her affairs. According to Hewitt's book Princess in Love, their romance began in 1986 when Diana was said to be estranged from her husband. He claimed that when he was sent to Germany in 1989 for duty, the relationship started to fade. Many people focused specifically on one of Hewitt's physical characteristics when these revelations became public: his dark hair. Even Hewitt himself has frequently refuted the claims that he was Harry's biological father. The interviewer on Australian Channel 7's Sunday Night asked, "Are you Harry's father?" earlier this year. Hewitt replied, "No, I am not," adding that the rumor sells papers and may have persisted for years. On to number 7, Prince Andrew and Koo Stark. When Harry's uncle Prince Andrew dated an American actress in the 1980s, he was in a similar predicament to his nephew. Her name was Koo Stark, and she became famous for her breakout role in the 1976 film Emily. She had an 18-month relationship with the second son of Queen Elizabeth. Majesty magazine editor-in-chief Ingrid Seward told Variety that the relationship received a lot of criticism because an actress was not thought to be the ideal woman for a prince to walk down the aisle with, especially one who had a history of of making raunchy movies. According to Stewart, in those days, a prince of the realm might have had an actress as a mistress, like his ancestors would have done, but never a wife. Stewart said that the pressure from the media caused Andrew and Stark's romance to end, but the two are still said to be close friends today. Number 6, Captain Mark Phillips and Princess Anne. In her marriage to Captain Mark Phillips, Princess Anne, the sole daughter of Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip, experienced her fair share of heartbreak. They tied the knot in 1973, and in 1985, Phillips had a love child named Felicity with Heather Tonkin, a New Zealand art teacher. According to the Telegraph, a DNA test that was carried out as a result of a paternity suit filed in 1991 proved Felicity to be Phillips' daughter. However, the couple didn't just have a problem with the love child. It was widely noted that Anne and Phillips appeared to have two distinct lives throughout their marriage. They were called a loveless duo in a People story from 1989, and it was reported that the royal couple lived apart for almost 2 years before breaking up. In 1992, they filed for divorce, and that same year, Princess Anne got married to Timothy Lawrence, her current husband. Number 5, Sarah Ferguson and John Bryan. Although the separation of Diana and Charles in '92 captivated the majority of viewers, another member of the royal family received some negative media attention in August. When pictures of Sarah Ferguson, Duchess of York, leaked to the media, she was just getting over her split from Prince Andrew, Charles's brother. The images, which were published in the Daily Mirror, appeared to show American businessman John Bryan sucking on Sarah's toes while she went topless for a sunbathing session. In the court of public opinions and from the British royals, Fergie received a lot of criticism for the embarrassing photo scandal. 9 out of 10 respondents to a poll that was published in the Sunday Express on August 23, '92 stated that if Andrew went through with the divorce, Ferguson should lose her title. Richard Kay, a well-known royal writer for the Daily Mail, said he was there when Fergie and Bryan found out about the photos. Bryan said that Bryan just kissed Fergie's feet. Sure, Bryan, that's exactly what it looks like you're doing in the pictures. Number 4, Edward VIII and Wallis Simpson. King Edward VIII had made the proposal to Wallis Simpson, an American socialite, in 1936, just a few months into his reign. However, in contrast to Meghan Markle, Simpson's nationality did not cause a social uproar, because at the time it was forbidden for the king, who was also the head of the Church of England, to marry a woman who had previously wed and her husband was still alive. The proposal led to a constitutional crisis in the UK. At the time of the proposal, Simpson still had 2 active ex-husbands. If Harry and Meghan had been dating during those times, they would have faced similar challenges, as both of them are divorced. The 36-year-old actress got married to Trevor Engelson, a film producer, in 2011, but the couple divorced in 2013. According to LUK, Harry and Markle are free to marry at Westminster Abbey whenever they want, provided, of course, they receive the Queen's permission as a result of changes in a religious law in the Church of England. Sadly for Edward, he was not born during Harry's time, so he had to choose between love and the crown. After her second divorce was finalized, he ultimately decided to abdicate the throne and married Simpson in France in 1937. That sounds so poetic. You're leaving the throne for the love of your life? Wow, we need more people like that. On to number 3, Princess Margaret and Peter Townsend. Another royal who was criticized for her dating life was Princess Margaret, Queen Elizabeth's younger sister. The young princess had to ask her older sister for permission to marry a 16-year-old royal heir, Peter Townsend, around 1953. He had been married before, but after his first wife allegedly had an affair, he divorced her. Because of Townsend's divorce, the couple was denied the right to marry multiple times, and even Margaret's title and income were threatened. She ultimately chose not to pursue a romantic relationship with Townsend and went in a different direction than Edward VIII. In a public statement, she said, "I would like it to be known that I have decided not to marry Group Captain Peter Townsend. I have always been aware that I could have entered into a civil marriage if I had not waived my rights to succession. However, due to my obligation to the Commonwealth and the Church's teaching that Christian marriage cannot be broken, I have decided to prioritize these factors." On to number 2, King Henry VIII and his many wives. When it came to multiple marriages, King Henry VIII, who ruled England from 1509 to 1547, could have given Elizabeth Taylor a run for her money. He He was married 6 times and even had his first marriage to Catherine of Aragon annulled, which was a controversial move that the Pope at the time disapproved of. However, in the modern era, Henry's numerous wives were not the only thing that would have landed him in the tabloids. Additionally, many of the unusual health issues that many of the women faced attempting to conceive also contributed. In 1534, he miscarried Anne Boleyn, his second wife with whom he cheated on Catherine. Additionally, there's a rumor that she may have previously given birth to a few stillborn children. According to reports, she considered her inability to have a son a betrayal. Anne's problems did not end there though. She later passed away in 1536 after being accused of multiple acts of adultery. Henry proposed to Jane Seymour the day after Anne passed away. Wow. Henry, that's kind of a savage move. Henry had 4 more wives, including Catherine Howard, who was executed for adultery. Henry's life was always filled with conflict. And on to number 1, Princess Margaret and Antony Armstrong-Jones. If you have watched the first 2 seasons of Netflix's The Crown, you know that Princess Margaret, the younger sister of Queen Elizabeth, was a wild child when she was in her prime. When the princess was just 17 years old, she fell in love with Peter Townsend, a married man who worked for her father. The princess married an openly gay photographer named Antony Armstrong-Jones in 1960 after Parliament refused to allow the couple to wed. Even though they were married for 18 years, their union was not happy. In the end, they both had fun making fun of each other. It was the first divorce of a senior royal since 1901 when they got married in 1978. The princess almost lost everything, including her lifestyle that was paid for by the government. She received the moniker Royal Parasite. The royals are drama fans. Although Duchess Meghan Markle's accession to the royal family certainly sparked controversy, it is not the first time the royal family has been part of a scandal. I mean, clearly. Here's one more relationship scandal that we haven't gotten to yet, which had the fans of the royal family outraged. Back in 2019, word on the street was that Prince William, the upcoming king, cheated on his wife Kate Middleton. Rose Hanbury, a close friend of Middleton, is said to be the lady in between the couple. Obviously, the Duke is not the first royal to have an affair, if the rumors are true. King Charles's relationship with his current wife Camilla led to the breakdown of the marriage between the late Princess Diana and then Prince Charles. It is hard to keep up with this family, who is obsessed with maintaining a very prim and proper image. The scandal-ridden royal relationships are just one of the many interesting and juicy things the royals have been involved in. But that is all for today. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for some more juicy royal updates. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time on The Rich Life.